Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to Near Calendars franchise mode here in NHL 25. So last episode, if you did not catch it, we had the second round of the playoffs against the Carolina Hurricanes, and we continued to do what we did in the first round, which was complete dominate teams. And we lost game 3 again, which is kind of funny because we've lost game 3 in back-to-back series now. But we are now we have an 8-2 record in this postseason, which is awesome. You can see game 1 and 2 were dominant 5-2. 3-1 was a little bit closer, but still pretty good wins there. And then we lost 4-1. So at that stage, once again, kind of similar to the first round, I wasn't too sure what to make of this round at that point. However, we responded with a 5-0 win to take a 3-1 series lead and a 7-2 victory to close out the series. So it's been a very good team effort, and I mean a very good team effort. Like, this might be the best team effort I've ever gotten in a postseason so far up to this point in time, because everybody on our team has points so far through 2 rounds. Everybody has a goal on this team through 2 rounds as well, which is absolutely insane because we've only played 10 games at this point now. We only do have like 4 guys that are basically point per game, but like I said, everybody on this roster has scored a single goal, even the defenseman, which is pretty impressive. And then everybody on this team has at least 1 or more points. Leeson's the only one with 1 point at the moment. So it's like the third line that's the one line that hasn't been contributing super well offensively, but they haven't been like necessarily a huge issue either. Like, Leeson's only a -3. If he was like a -9 or something like that, it would be more of an issue, but everyone in his team has been doing really well. And then the goaltending is starting to find itself too, because Solovyov continued to do what he did in the last round, which is play great. So he's got a .918 save percentage now in a 2.3 goals against average, which is pretty awesome. And like I said, he got off to a really slow start this playoff run. Like, if we go to his game logs here and go to the beginning of the playoffs, you can see his first few games of the playoffs were pretty shaky. An .882 save percentage, an .875, and an .871. But since then, he's got a .914. He got a shutout. He has a .935, a .968, an .857. So random drop off there. Another shutout, a .917, and once again, he's been good since then. So he's only had 1 bad game in like the last 8 or so games, which is pretty awesome. I think it's actually 7 games, but he's been pretty impressive. I think our team's also just playing better defensively in front of him. So it's been just a very good effort from everybody so far, and I'm hoping that it can continue here in this conference finals, because obviously this is the farthest this young team has ever gotten in the postseason before, so it would be nice if we could find a way to get 4 more wins, get ourselves to our first cup finals in what feels like a while. Now, we are going to be taking on a tough Ottawa Senators team that went 47-30-5, and we're 9-1 in our last 10 games going into the playoffs, so it is going to be a tougher matchup than the other rounds for sure. So they definitely are the type of team that could actually beat us. Now, we are still kind of a team that looks like a cheese team in a sense. We're good on paper, but our record suggests that we're a cheese team, so maybe we still have more cheese in us. But this is what the Ottawa Senators are looking like. You could definitely see it's a little bit stronger than some of the other teams we've played. Like, they have some very good depth, I would say, on terms of every single area on the forward group. A little bit maybe weaker on the right-hand side because Perreault's on the third line, but in general, they have very good depth on that offensive core. And then from a defensive standpoint, they do have some good defenders too, like Bergeron and Sanderson, so 2 87s. And they also surround them with a bunch of 82s and 80s, so that's a pretty good defensive core. And then the goaltending also, with Wallstedt as a 90, is really, really solid. So they just have some fantastic depth on this team, and it's definitely going to make it a bit tougher because Carolina, who we played last round, didn't have as much depth. And I think also in the first round, when we were going up against, who was it that we played against in the first round again? The New York Rangers. They didn't have as much depth either, I think. So this is definitely going to be probably one of our tougher tasks yet. Winner of this series will face either Utah or Edmonton for the Stanley Cup. So hopefully we could get there, and hopefully we have a chance to win a Stanley Cup this season. But before we get into this conference finals matchup, let's get your guys' comments, see what you guys have to say about that second round victory, and then we'll get into this round and see what this team is able to do. So the first comment is from Dylan Burrows, who says, I wasn't the biggest fan of Crane, but he has grown on me this playoff. So yeah, Crane is an interesting player. I've always really liked Crane. His regular season play has been pretty good. Like, if you look from regular season stats, tied for the lead in points on our team with 35 goals and 79 points. He's been kind of a really solid player, I would say. Like, obviously he's not the craziest player in the world. Like, he's not scoring like 70 goals in a season or something like that, but he's been a really solid player. Almost 200 career goals, over 200 assists. His plus minus hasn't been too bad over the last few years. He is a little bit on the aggressive side of things, but he's also pretty good. And if you go to the playoff numbers, you can see he's over point per game this year in the playoffs. Last year he was over over point per game in the playoffs. So I think he also kind of like flourishes in these type of moments. So hopefully Crane continues to do that for us going forward, because he is still signed here for another 3 years. Then I might end up wanting to lock him up long term, or maybe we look to somebody else at that point. I'm not too sure, but right now I kind of want to hold on to Crane long term if we possibly can. He also does throw a lot of hits, I'm guessing, because he does have truculence as an X factor. So let's take a look actually at that for fun. Yeah, during the regular season, he's thrown over 100 hits a season, so he is definitely a physical specimen, but he also could pick up points, which is nice to see. So he's kind of almost like, I guess, like Brady Tkachuk in that sense, where he could do a lot of different things. He does shoot the puck a lot, too. Not as crazy as some other guys, but still, he shoots the puck, he scores goals, he throws hits. Like, that's kind of all you really want from a guy like that. The next comment is from Michael Dose, who says, I saw only a 36-minute show today. Told me the show was short one. LOL. You gonna attend the games in Ottawa against the Islanders? And no, not this season, but a few seasons ago, I did see a Sens Islanders game. The next game I'm gonna actually be seeing is the Sens Tampa game in April, which is going to be pretty crazy, just because of the fact with the playoff implications and all that. But I don't go to as much Sens games as I'd like. Like, I go to around like 2 to 3 maybe a season. Sometimes I should try and go to more, but obviously at the same time, I don't really have the money to just be going to the games all the time. But at some point in time, if I end up having a good source of income and all that, I probably would love to get like seasons tickets or something like that, because that would be pretty sick to just like go to almost like every single game that I can, or even just get like one of those plans that you could actually choose the games and stuff like that, because that would be kind of neat. In the last and final comments from San Otaku says, everyone except the third line is firing on all cylinders. Even then, they're not that abysmal defensively, so I don't think they're actively costing you games. If Leahy were playing in the top 6, I would bet he would be a favorite to win the Conn Smythe, maybe in a few more seasons. And yeah, Leahy has been like really, really good. Like, I don't know if it's just him or Leg, but the two of those guys have really surprised me this season, and that fourth line has just surprised me in general. Because if we go to the forwards, and we just sort this by ice time, you can see how good they've been for their lack of ice time. Because look at this. Leg is averaging 751 a game. He's got 7 points in 10 games in the playoffs and a plus 11. Nielikainen's averaging 804. He's got 4 points and a plus 9. And Leahy's getting the most ice time out of the bunch, but he's only getting 915. Yet he's got 9 points in 10 games and a plus 10. So these three guys are averaging 9 and lower minutes per game, yet they've been as fantastic as they have been. So really good stats from them so far. I don't know if it's going to necessarily continue, because we are going up against a tough Ottawa Senators team, but right now I think that third line has probably been our favorite line so far this postseason. Now the top line's been good too, or the second line's been good. I don't remember which line it is. I think it's the second line / top line, but right now, my favorite line is probably that fourth line, just because it's been doing a lot more work in terms of less time on ice. So if that line got a lot more ice time, maybe it would even do way better than it's currently doing. Not too sure on that. But anyways, that is that. So I think we're ready to get into this matchup. There's no line adjustments we're going to want to make to start off this round, at least, because we've been so good so far. Obviously, if we lose 2 games in a row, we'll make some adjustments. But for right now, we got to keep it the same. Now, what's interesting about this series is we are going to be starting it on the road, kind of like we did against the New York Rangers. So this is only the second time this playoff run that we've started on the road. So hopefully we could get some wins on the road and then continue that onto our home ice. Now, the Sens, I believe, if I remember right, we're a really good road team during the playoffs so far. So far, I think on home ice they are 2-3. So maybe we could find a way to win at least one of these 2 games on the road to start off the series. So here we go. Let's get into game number 1 and see what we could do. See if we can continue that momentum from last round and find a way to get 4 more wins to get ourselves to a potential Stanley Cup Finals. So first period, game number 1. 1-0 us. Good start. Giordano scores. Okay, so now the third line, because I was calling them out all the time, seems to be picking up more offense. Giordano's been better as of late. He obviously ended off the regular season on a pretty long goalless drought, but as of the last few games, he's been able to score some points. He's now got 4 points this postseason and 2 goals. So he's starting to come alive, which is good to see, because obviously if the fourth line or the first line or the second line takes time off, we need the third line to step up when it can. Shots are 10-4 and shots are 10-4 in favor of us, but we're only up by a goal. Can we get some insurance into the third potentially? Second period. 2 on us. Okay, so they did tie it up, Roger McQueen. But Giordano again with 46 seconds left. So Giordano might be finding his goal scoring finally, which is what we want to see, obviously, because if other guys, like I said, Leg doesn't show up, then Giordano should probably try and show up. So good to see Giordano with 2 goals in this game. That's more than he scored it in like the last 2 months or so of the season, which is pretty insane. So shots are 22-10 in favor of us. So Solovyov's not off to the strongest of starts, but maybe he's just a little cold because he hasn't had to face that much shots so far in this game. We have 2 goals on 22 shots. Let's see if we can get an insurance marker and lock down this game. Come on, boys. And hopefully get a good third period from Solovyov too, if possible. Come on, guys. Power play for us. And we get a power play goal from Jääskeläinen, and let's go. And we get another power play goal from Mäkinen. Okay. So this team's off to a good start again. And there's another goal. Tatar makes it 5-1. Damn, our last 3 games, we've been scoring 5+ goals in each of them, which is pretty damn impressive. Final few minutes, and we are going to lock this one down, and we are going to take a 1-0 series lead. We outshot them 36-17. Now, I thought this Ottawa Senators team was going to be a tougher matchup, but in that first game, definitely didn't show like that. Hopefully, we do still have offense and defensive play in the games to come, because obviously, if we did that all in one game, that would kind of suck, but that was a really nice first game of the playoffs. Or not of the playoffs, of the conference finals, I should say. This team continuing that momentum. So Giordano from Leeson, and we had Giordano from Leeson and Tatar. Jääskeläinen from Crane and Salmelainen. Mäkinen from Giordano and Crane. And Tatar from Howden and Sealfido. So Giordano with a 3-point game. He is starting to come alive now. He's up to like 6 points, I guess, this postseason. So that's pretty impressive. Crane had a pair of assists. We had Tatar on 2 points. Leeson on 2 points. So Leeson and Giordano is starting to pick up points is really nice to see, because obviously they've been kind of the most quiet players on the team, other than Eriksson, I guess. But we're starting to get lines that haven't contributed to contribute. So basically every line on this team is now doing work. And Solovyov gets a .941 save percentage, but he was still kind of a bit shaky early on, but he makes 16 of 17. So that's exactly kind of what you need from him. But he's still continuing to do well. So Gio the first star, Tatar the second star, and Leeson the third star. So we didn't even need like really our big guys to step up in that game, because the third line decided to step up. So that's good. All right. So we've won 3 straight games, and we've scored 5+ goals in each of those games. So everything's looking pretty damn good at this point. Hopefully we can continue that momentum. That was only the 3rd loss the Sens have had this postseason so far. Because I believe for the Sens, I think they swept the first round, and in the second round they took out the Sabres in 6 games. So they have been losing a little bit more as of late. So maybe that's going to help us out a little bit too. But I think we got to keep the team the same. Everything's been working well defensively, goaltending-wise, offensively. Like, there's definitely not any room for more improvement. So obviously, if we lose multiple games in a row, like I said, that's when we will actually make some adjustments. But right now, it's been working good. Let's keep it going into game number 2. Might end up being another short episode. You never know. But hopefully we can just find a way to get to that Cup Finals. That's all I really care about. Like, it doesn't matter if this episode's only 20 minutes or something like that. But here we go. Anyways, first period, game number 2. Can we find a way to get that first goal of the game again? Yes, we can. Nicely done. Bjorkstrand makes it 1-0 after 1. So that's nice to see the top line getting a goal. Shots are 13-12 in favor of Ottawa, so they did come out a little bit stronger this game, because obviously last game they had 17 shots by the end of the game. So they definitely are throwing a little bit more rubber to the net, but Solovyov still is up to the task, of course. Shots are 13-12. We're up by a goal. Can we find a way to keep this lead intact going into the third period? Second period. 3-1 us. We went up 3-0. Bjorkstrand made it 2-0. Houghton scored like a minute later to make it 3-0. And Aubrey gets the Sens on the board. Shots are 23-17 in favor of the Sens, but we are up by a pair of goals. Can we find a way to hold on to this lead in the third period just like we did last game? Let's see what happens. Third period underway. Come on, boys. Let's keep it going. Everything's been working so well on this team that this team might end up losing in the finals on a sweep or something like that. Bjorkstrand makes it 4-1. Bjorkstrand scores again, so there's the hat trick for Bjorkstrand, I think, or maybe he has 4 goals in this game. I know he has multiple at least. Brendan Brisson gets the second of the night for the Sens as he beats Solovyov on the 30th shot. Bolduc makes it 5-3. Got to hold it down, Solovyov. Oh my goodness, don't blow this, man. Wow, okay, that was a little bit scary near the end. If we didn't have Bjorkstrand in the lineup, we could have lost that game. We were up 5-1, and they scored 3 goals in the final 6 minutes, but we do hold them off. Solovyov just had to buckle a little bit because we did get outshot 35-25. but we barely escape. It's our fourth straight game scoring 5 or more goals, which is insane, but we nearly got caught near the end, which is not great. So that was maybe our worst stretch in a while. But Bjorkstrand from Mäkinen and Frondell, Bjorkstrand from Frondell, Mäkinen, Houghton from Bjorkstrand and Mäkinen, Bjorkstrand from Leahy and Frondell, Bjorkstrand from Frondell and Sealfido. So Bjorkstrand had 4 goals and an assist in that game. That's actually insane. That might be the most goals we've seen from a player in the playoffs other than Mäkinen, because I think Mäkinen had a 4-goal playoff game one time. But yeah, that top line did a lot of good work. Bjorkstrand, Frondell, and Mäkinen all with 3+ points. And then Leahy picked up an assist, which is nice. Sealfido picking up a point. Same with Houghton. So yeah, every single line's contributing. Like last game, it was the third line that did well. This time, it was the first line that did well. And then obviously, we've been getting good offense from the third and second line throughout the rest of the playoffs. So I'm really liking the way this team's simulating still. But Solovyov definitely had a tough time near the end. His save percentage was really good near the end of the game. But then obviously allowing those 3 goals in the final few minutes definitely played a factor. So that's one of his worst games in a while. But we do still get the win. So doesn't matter too much. But Bjorkstrand first star, Frondell second star, and Roger McQueen for the Sens actually gets the 3rd star of the game. All right. So we have taken both games in Ottawa so far. Like I said, they have not been a good home team, so that's why we probably took both their games. They have been a very good road team so far, though. I think they haven't lost on the road so far, so we got to be weary about that. We got to find a ways to win on our home ice as well, and hopefully that late stretch in that game, that in Game 2, hopefully that doesn't carry into this game, because obviously the Sens would have momentum from that. So I think we got to keep the team the same, even though I didn't really like those last few minutes of the game. That probably affected the plus-minus on some people, but we've been doing good offensively. We've been doing relatively well, good defensively, not the last 6 minutes of the game or whatever. But I think I've been still pretty impressed enough that I don't really need to make any changes right now. So let's keep the team the exact same going into game number 3. But if we play kind of bad defensively this game, I might want to look into some adjustments. So can we take a 3-0 series lead, and can we find a way to continue winning on home ice like we were doing before? Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Let's keep it rolling. And let's take a commanding 3-0 series lead if we can here. First period, game number 3. 2-1 us. Okay, that's a good start. Crane opens the scoring less than a minute in, 50 seconds in. Perreault scores for them, and Jaskalainen gets us another power play goal with 56 seconds left. So we get an early goal and a late goal in that period. Shots are 11-10 in favor of us. We're up by a goal. So we've had the lead after the first period in every game so far, which is nice. Hopefully we can keep that intact in the second period. Second period, 3-1 us. So we have had this exact same lead multiple times in this playoff run so far. I feel like where we've been up by multiple goals going into the third. I do feel a little bit safer being up by 2 goals, but obviously we should probably be a little bit wary that the Sens could score goals in bunches after last game. But a power play goal from Eriksson, that's really good to see, because Eriksson's been probably the most quiet forward as of late. So good to see him on the board as well. Shots are in our favor, 26-18. We're up by a pair of goals. Can we lock this game down in the third? Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Let's keep it rolling. Penalty kill to start the third. We kill it off. Nicely done. Into almost the final 10 minutes. Can we keep this going? Niemela gets the Sens on the board to make it 3-2. Let's hold them off, boys. Let's get an insurance marker if we can. Final few minutes. Are we going to lock this one down? Yes, we are. Another close game. I mean, the Sens are giving us a little bit of a run for our money the last few games, but another solid game for Solovyov. 2 goals against on 32 shots. We score 3 on 35. But we are 1 win away already from the Stanley Cup Finals. We're up 3-0 in this series, and every single series we've had so far has gone only to 5 games. That was our first victory in Game 3 of this playoff run as well, because if you guys remember what I just said earlier in this episode, series number 1, series number 2, we lost both Game 3s. But Crane from Tatar and Houghton, Jaskalainen from Giordano and Eriksson from Bjorkstrand and Crane. So Eriksson with a couple points is nice to see, because like I said, he only had I think 2 points going into this series, so he's been very quiet as of late. Let's take a look at some individual stats here. So 2 points for Crane and Eriksson, a couple guys on 1 point. And since most of our goals were on the power play and stuff like that, we only had minus players on our roster. All right. 3 stars of the game. Solovyov the first star of the game, Eriksson the second star, and Crane the third star. So The question is the Sens going to be able to find any way to get back into this series? Because now that we're up 3-0, we're literally 11-2 in this postseason run and 1 win away from going to the Cup Finals already. Like, this team has been super, super good. Now, there is some guys losing morale because of ice time. I just saw Neil Kainen's losing morale. We'll come to that, obviously, once we get to another offseason. But right now, this team has been very, very good. We have not lost since this game here against the Carolina Hurricanes. We're technically now on a 5-game winning streak. I kind of feel like if we do get to the finals that we might get swept just because we've been cruising through so many teams so far. But who knows, maybe the Stanley Cup Finals will be a 7-game series. But everyone up to this point has been pretty easy for our team, which is awesome to see. So I think we got to keep the team the exact same. I've been liking everything so far. Good goaltending for the most part. Defense has been pretty good for the most part. Offense has been consistent. Like, I know this is probably going to be another short episode potentially if we do eliminate them. Now, they could come back in the series, so we don't want to call them out yet. But there is a chance that this episode might be shorter than the last episode, which is kind of hilarious. And Michael will probably be able to tell that either we got swept or we swept somebody. So let's see what happens here. Game number 4, back on home ice again. That was, I guess, Ottawa's first loss, I think, on the road, which would be rather impressive. So let's see if we could close out the Sens and get to a Cup Finals. It would either be Utah or Edmonton if we do get there. So first period, game number 4. 2-1 Sens. So for the first time, we're actually trailing after the first period. I think it's been quite a while since this has been the case, but Brady Tkachuk scores 2 goals. Of course, that's like literally the day after I just watched the US-Finland game and he scored 2 goals. Ciofito scored like not too long later after his other goals. So we are still in this game, even though we are trailing. Probably one of our worst periods in a while, probably since that game number 2. Shots are 11-9 in favor of Ottawa as well. So let's play a good defensive second period. Let's hope that Solovyov finds his game a bit. And hopefully our offense can start generating some more chances as well. Or score some goals too. Second period. Still 2-1 Ottawa. Okay, so nothing changed. But we are out shooting now 21-18. So we did have a good chances in that second period, it looks like. But so far, the goalie for the Sens, which is Wallstead, has been pretty damn good. Let's go into this third period, see if we can find a way to tie this one up here. Where else are we going to be going to a Game 5 again for the third consecutive series? That'd be kind of insane. We do tie it up. It's Ciofito's second of the night. Nice to see Ross with 2 goals. Final few minutes here of this third period, still tied at 2. We might have to intervene here soon. We might intervene just because there's a chance for us to go to the Cup Finals potentially. And we are going to be going to overtime. So you know what? We're going to intervene just to make this episode a little bit longer. So you guys might not know what's going on. But let's see if we can pull off the sweep. Obviously, if we don't pull off the sweep, we'll go to Game 5. But hopefully we can pull off the sweep here. We'll go obviously with our nice home jerseys. And we will make sure that I have the music turned off, which I think I do because I haven't played any games recently or watched any AI games other than in these series. So yeah, it's good. All right, so will we be able to find that series clinching goal to get us to the Cup Finals? Let's see what happens. There's only 2 players in this game apparently that have X factors. That's interesting. Stützle for them and Frundell for us. Everybody else just has a normal zone ability. All right, well, let's see if we can find a way to win in here. First time we've seen these guys in action in a while. Oh my goodness, Frundell just got blown up. That's not a great way to start an overtime. Zach Bolduc with the puck. Nice poke check by Houghton, and Tatar lost it. Bates finds Stützle. Blocked there. Here comes Frundell. Anton Frundell finds Mäkinen. Mäkinen to Bjorkstrand. He doesn't get any shot there. Bjorkstrand throws it back. Here's Houghton with a bomb, and it's turned away by Wallstead with some screen in front too. Nice chance. Nice chance indeed. I don't know how long this overtime is going to go for, but I hope that we can find a way just to close out the series, and then it'll be interesting to see if we end up playing the Oilers or Utah in the Cup Finals if we do get there, because I feel like we could still get reverse swept randomly, but who knows? Who knows? Ciofito looking for the hat trick here in overtime. He's at the draw against Stützle. He does not win it. He does get it back, though. He finds it to Tatar, but Tatar went out of the zone, and then he turns it over. Tatar has always such really bad luck in overtime, it seems like. Oh my goodness, that was dangerous. The changed angle in that shot. Big save there by Solovyov. Bergeron to Yakimchuk to get shucked to Stützle. That's turned away too. They almost have full pressure. Another chance. Solovyov kind of swimming around in net. We got to get it out. Karain throws it all the way up to Jaskline. We do get it out. They almost had full pressure there. Jaskalainen throws it over to Ciofito. He can't get the shot through. It's now on Jaskalainen's stick. He's trying to find it. A massive scrum, and nobody gets to it. It's now with Aubrey. Sorry if you could hear my cat meowing because he's just annoying. Aubrey over to Sanderson. It's blocked. Oh my goodness. Get it away, guys. Get it away. Nice save again by Solovyov. He's been the best player so far for us in this overtime, making sure that we do not allow any goals. We should probably change Solovyov's mask to an actual Islanders mask because the fact that he's wearing a Ducks mask is kind of weird. Eriksson at the draw. He's had a quiet playoffs, but he had 2 points the last game, so let's see if he could find an OT winner here. The Sens have full pressure. That's not good. We got to get it out. Got to get it out. Tkachuk with it. He's also got 2 goals in this game. Tkachuk with it again. Throws it to McQueen. Over to Brendan Brisson. Get it away. Get it away. Oh my goodness. The way they're passing it is crazy right now. Good poke check. I don't know who that was. Tkachuk again to McQueen. Nice defense, guys. Look at the defensive play. Leeson. This third line out there still. And I guess we're going to have to make a line change. Yes, some guys are going off. But great defense there. But we do leave a guy wide open there. And it's Tkachuk again. And nice play by Salmelainen. Bjorkstrand nearly turns it over. Sierra recovers it, though. And here we go now with Leeson. Leeson will just dump it in. And I think that's Anton Frondell back out there. No, it's Mäkinen, I think. Yeah, we now have our top line back out there again. Good work by our third line defensively in that situation. Perreault to Greg. Greg back to the point. Pinto shoots it. That's turned away. Solovyov is keeping us in this right now. Here is Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand throws it over to Frondell, and that's turned away by Wallstead. Damn, Anton Frondell's had some big goals in the past in his early stages of his career, so that would have been nice if he found a way to get that overtime winner there. Because like I said, he's our captain on this team. I don't think about trading him yet, but at some point we might have to, just with the emergence of guys like Crane and all that. Mäkinen at the draw. Can't win it. Yemela throws it up here as Greg turns it over, and we took a penalty. It was an interference penalty to Mäkinen, and now we have to kill off a penalty in this overtime. Not a great overtime for our team so far. Giving up a lot of chances, not generating enough chances, and we just take a penalty now. So now we have to kill off a penalty too in this overtime situation. As Mäkinen just threw down Pinto right off the face-off, and that's apparently interference right there. A little bit of a soft call, but I understand it too. Alright, can we find a way to kill this penalty off? Maybe get a short-handed goal to end the series? That'd be insane. Leahy's out there. We get to see Leahy for the first time. Him and Crane. Leahy loses the draw. Niemela over, and Tatar has to play some defense. Get it away. Stutzla. Oh my goodness, that was dangerous, that shot. Big Elise comes right back out of his zone because Otter Eyes couldn't hold it in. Crane steals it. Finds Leahy short-handed. Leahy tries to throw it back over. Doesn't work. That would have been interesting if we could have found a short-handed goal. Crane to Leahy again. I like that we're going aggressive short-handed, though, because might as well to try and close out the series, right? Might as well. Bolduc with it now for the Sens. Bolduc in. That's turned away by Solovyov. We've killed off 35 seconds so far. Not too bad. But we've only had like one shot, I feel like, in this overtime so far through 10 minutes. Like, we're just definitely not generating enough offense so far. So we got to be very weary that the Sens are getting a lot of chances, but Solovyov's been up to the task. All right, who's at the faceoff dot now? It's Eriksson and Frondell out there. Eriksson at the draw against Pinto, and it's a tie-up. It's a scrum, and Tkachuk finds it to Cardwell. He bombs it. Great block by the captain, Frondell. Eriksson then picks off a pass, and we do get it out. That was a great block by Frondell. And a huge hit by Eriksson. God damn, he just murdered that dude. Tkachuk has shot. Solovyov will stop him again. They almost have full pressure again. Man, we don't want to give them pressure too much because if they get full pressure multiple times, that's going to be deadly. It's tough to defend when you're on full pressure, so we got to get this out of the zone, and hopefully that pressure gauge just goes all the way down. So Eriksson had another face-off against Pinto. Last time they tied up. This time, Eriksson wins it cleanly. Tatar can't get the puck, though. Now he's got it. They almost have full pressure, just backhand it out. He finds it to Frondell. And now we won't be under pressure, which is good. Here's Boyd. Boyd over to Frondell. Anton Frondell, short-handed, just missed. Oh my goodness, that was a great chance for the captain to seal the deal. But he just missed to the top G's. Here is Perreault with a bit of speed. Perreault in, can't get a shot to the net. It's loose on the side of the net, and our players aren't even knowing where the puck is. The ref doesn't know where it is either, and they'll just call a whistle with 35 seconds left on their power play. Interesting. All right. Giordano at the draw now. He and Leeson are out there. So the third line guys. Giordano wins the draw. Houghton will take it, and he does not get it out, but the guy turned it over. Here's Cardwell. Nice play by Houghton. Houghton can't get it now. Bolduc out front. Bates scores, and that looked like it was goalie interference, and they did not wave it off. A little bit of a questionable goal, but unfortunately we're going to lose on a power play goal, and we will be going to a Game 5. Hopefully that doesn't spark a comeback for the Sens now, because I feel like kind of when you lose in overtime situations like this, it's not great. Well, that is kind of a heartbreaking way to lose, but at least we still have a chance to close out the series. But that looked like a weird-ass friggin' glitch goal again, though, because this play, though, let's see what happens. So they hook it into there. Then the defense gets caught. Salmelainen gets caught fishing. Nobody even picks up Bates' backdoor, but Bates turns before the puck gets to him. And he's able to get this in right here. What the hell kind of goal is this? This is such a weird goal. Like, he's falling kind of too while he gets that shot off. Like, he doesn't even touch the puck, though. That's the crazy thing. He maybe does right there, actually, but still, he's not even shooting it there. And he's also interfering completely right there with Solovyov. So would that be goalie interference? I feel like it would be, but damn, man, that's a really bad one to let in. Well, it is what it is. We got completely outplayed in that overtime situation, I think, anyways. Yeah, the shots were 8-2 in that overtime setting, so we did that to ourselves. But we will be going to a Game 5. Might as well see what we could do in Game 5, but that kind of sucks. We let them extend their season a little bit longer. Let's hope that that doesn't come back to bite us any stretch. So let's keep the team the same still, even though that was a loss. And let's see if we could find a way to take this series on the road instead. Come on, boys. You got to get it done. Let's get a response to last game. Wasn't expecting the series to not necessarily end there. So I thought we were going to win potentially. But first period, game number 5. Let's see what happens. Scoreless. Oh, boy. I feel like our offense is starting to be a little bit more quiet as of late. We did generate the same amount of shots as them, but it is scoreless. So far, it seems like Wallsted's starting to pick up his game quite a bit since the early stages of the series, but hopefully we can find a way to get the lead in the second period and make it a little bit easier for us going forward. Second period. There we go. We do get the lead. Power play goal for Jääskeläinen. And again, I think he's got like 3 power play goals against the Sens right now. But shots are 28-17 in favor of us. We're only up by a goal. Can we close this out in the third period and close out the series in Game 5 just like we did the last 2 series before this? Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Get an insurance marker. Make me feel safe. That's all I'm asking for. Because I don't want to go to another overtime situation. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Power play for us. It's a long power play. We are going to probably jump in here shortly. Let's jump in again. Honestly, I hope that our team is able to hold on to it this time, though, because if we don't, and we somehow lose in another overtime, I think we're going to get reverse swept. But let's be a little bit wary here. We know the Sens have some skill level. Let's not let them get back into this series at all. Because if they win this game, we go to a Game 6 when we were up 3-0, and we don't want that. So we're only up by a goal, so we got to play good defensively. We got to get some good goaltending and maybe get an insurance marker just to make it safer. Oh, boy. Wow, they have the Sens Army flag out. That's such an old slogan, though, too. It's literally from, like, 2014-15 area, I think. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Anyways, here comes Eriksson. It feels weird going for the Islanders in Ottawa, but let's go for the Islanders. Ridley Gregg with the puck. He carries it in. Finds it over to Brendan Brisson. Can't get a shot. Nice play by Schaefer, but then he turned it over. Gregg with a great A chance and a big save from Solovyov in the slot. As we look to try and close down this game. We are out shooting them quite badly in this one, but so far they look like they have the momentum out of the gate. Jääskeläinen is now up to 4th in playoff points, only behind some Oilers players at the moment. There's a nice face-off win, but we do turn it over. Here is Tatar. Tatar will kick it around. And Houghton can't get to it. Bolduc out front, turned away. That's a huge save on the guy that just scored the overtime winner in the last game. Bates getting robbed by Solovyov for his 26th save. We got to be careful here defensively, guys. Don't give them any momentum or anything here late in this game, because they are likely going to pull their goaltender if they're still down by 1 soon. So Mäkinen at the draw, can't win it. Bergeron a shot, huge shot blocked by Bjorkstrand, another save by Solovyov. They nearly have full pressure again. Maybe I should not be jumping into these games because maybe I'm making it a higher chance that we're going to end up losing these games. I honestly don't even know. But I do want to see us potentially clinch the Eastern Conference if we win this. So Howden turns it over. Stützle takes it and scores. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I was telling you about. That's exactly what I'm telling you about. You do not give a team full pressure. And this game is tied late. I don't know what the heck this camera angle is, but the black stuff on the top is kind of weird. And that hits the glove of Solovyov and goes in. That's not his fault. That's just another bad defensive play by our team in front of him. Oh boy, if we end up losing in another overtime, I think we're going to get reverse swept here. And it's going to be on the stretch of a lot of overtime losses. Sometimes that happens, but that's not good. That is not good at all. Oh boy. We got to get a response here. We got to get a response here. We do not want them to get the crowd into the game. But Ottawa's going crazy right now. And we got to find a way to just weather the storm here and find a way to get that next goal. Another tie up on the draw. Frundell can't get down the middle. Here is Bates. Oh my goodness. Why are we playing so bad when I jump in? Houghton over to Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand finds Mäkinen. Mäkinen carries it in. Mäkinen lost it to Yakemchuk. Here is Bates. Bates with the puck. Poke check nicely. Tatar finds it to Mäkinen. Mäkinen to Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand to Frundell, the captain. Had a great chance last game. Finds Bjorkstrand. A huge chance and a miraculous save by Wallstead to keep this game tied. Wow. Holy crap. Okay, so Wallstead's definitely been a difference maker in this game. Look at that save. God damn. Bjorkstrand had his eyes light up that he was going to potentially end the series there. But that is a massive save. Wow. Okay. Well, now we know who we're up against with Wallstead. Yeah, that's a crazy save. Also, Bjorkstrand has like a giant gray beard, which is kind of funny because he's not even that old. Oh my goodness. Come on, guys. Don't let that save come back to bite us. Okay, Sealfield on the draw. We got the second line. Sealfield, Crane, and Jaskalainen out there. Bergeron with the puck for the Sens. Poke check by Sealfield. Here's Yakemchuk. Get it away. Get it away. Bates with the puck. He gets in with it. Nice defensive play by Tatar. Tatar throws it back around to Houghton. I didn't even see him in that corner. Sealfield over to Jaskalainen. Crane's going to the net. Jaskalainen makes a great move, and Wallstead turns him away. That was a slick hands by Jaskalainen. I didn't know Jaskalainen had those hands. I know he could shoot, but that was a nice little move. And Houghton apparently got destroyed on that hit. God damn. Hopefully none of our guys get injured when we jump into these games either. Alright. Offensive zone face-off for our second line against their second line with 29.4 seconds to go. Sealfield to take it. Can he win it? Yes, he can. But no, it's taken away by them. So he tied up, but he lost it. Roger McQueen with it for the Sens. Nice poke check there by Schaefer. Kachuk to Brisson, and that's a massive save by Solovyov. Not the craziest, flashiest save, but a huge save with the time and the implications in this game. Yikes. Sealfield on a defensive zone face-off. Come on, guys. We got to get back out of our own zone here. Sealfield wins it. Salmelainen. Salmelainen throws it over to Schaefer. Schaefer gets stood up, but Sealfield will recover it for him. Crane. Crane with the puck. Crane still with it. Throws it to Salmelainen. He turns it over. Roger McQueen with it now. A few seconds left. Over to Kachuk, and that's blocked. And we are going to overtime in consecutive games. I feel a little bit weary about our team right now. Even though our team's been so good so far, I am a little bit weary of how this series is going right now. Because if you have multiple OT losses in a row almost, it's like that team just continues to win by only one goal and then you end up losing the series. So I really hope we can find a way to win here. We are out shooting them. We have more time on attack. They've been a bit more physical so far, but can we close this out in Ottawa, or are we going to a game 6? Let's get a better result than last game. Last game, that goal was kind of a glitch goal and almost goalie interference in my opinion. Not too exactly sure, but can we find a way to close this series out, or are we going to a game 6? Big hit there by Mäkinen. Nice to see that. He finds it to the captain, Frundell, barely onside. Frundell, Bjorkstrand, walks it back to Houghton, and he shoots. That's turned away by Wallstead. I like that chance. Frundell, over to Bjorkstrand again. Bjorkstrand throws it down the middle, doesn't work. Here comes the Sens. Bolduc with the puck. Bolduc carries it in, poke checked, or hit off the puck. Tatar finds Mäkinen. Mäkinen tries to make a move. I don't know why he was doing that, but he did. And now comes up with his number 17. It's Bolduc again with it. Trying to drive in. Solovyov with a big glove save as he caught Tatar. Tatar seems like he's kind of bad when we jump in, which is weird because he's usually pretty good, I think, during the regular season and all that. But when we jump in, he seems to get caught a little bit. Ciofito at the draw against Brendan Brisson, and he wins it. Nicely done. Jaskalainen into Crane. Here is Crane. Crane carries it in. Still with it. Crane gets hit, and he's going to have to go off on a line change because he did lose his helmet. He's going to have to go off fast, or also there's going to be an odd man rush, potentially. Brendan Brisson with it. Throws it to Jake Sanderson and McQueen. Can't even get the shot off. And here is Ciofito now with it. Here is Anton Frundell, who jumped on because of Crane losing his helmet. Frundell throws it to Ciofito, and that's turned away by Wallstead on our 40th shot on goal. Wallstead's made 39 saves in this game. God damn. Oh, come on, guys. You got to find a way. You guys got to find a way. We got some good chances, at least in this overtime compared to last game, so maybe we do still have a chance here. Ciofito against Brisson. He wins it again. Salmelainen can't get the shot through. Tkachuk throws it to McQueen. They got a little bit of an on-man rush. If they hurry, Tkachuk with a bomb, and it's turned away again by Solovyov. I don't like that Ottawa keeps them getting good chances still in overtimes, because these last two games I feel like they've definitely outplayed us for the most part in these overtime situations, so we got to be careful. Eriksson on the defensive zone draw, can't win it. Sanderson shoots, that's turned away. Oh my goodness, that rebound was right there too. We're battling in the corner. Eriksson throws a hit. Here is Schaefer. Schaefer gets it up to Eriksson. We get it all the way up, and here's a chance now. Leeson trying to get by the defense. Does get to it. Can't get a shot, though. Here is Tkachuk again. Throws it all the way over. I don't know who that is again. That might be Brisson again. No, it's McQueen. He shoots in. Solovyov, another save. They almost have full pressure, and we do not want that because they seem to do really well with the pressure system. They've scored goals before. We got to be very careful. Eriksson, another defensive zone faceoff as this third line is out there. Eriksson will not win it. Stutzla wins it back. They do get full pressure. Can we get it out here and not get caught running around? Yakemchuk a shot that's turned away by Solovyov with a little bit of net front presence in front. Yeah, I think they're outplaying us in this OT again a little bit. We have been better in this overtime in terms of chances, but now we have our first line out there, so maybe they'll be a little bit better in terms of the face-off. Yes, they are. Mäkinen wins it. Salmelainen will take it, but he gets pressured into the corner. Can we get it out? Yes, we can. Bjorkstrand throws it all the way over, almost hit Frundell, but he didn't. Here's Bolduc over to Bates. Bates in, that's turned away. Stutzla. Yakemchuk. Stutzla. Turned away again by Solovyov. Oh my goodness, they almost have full pressure again, I feel like. Yikes, Yakemchuk again, that's blocked. I don't know who blocked that, but that's a brave play. Blocking a Yakemchuk shot. There's another shot block. Okay, we're blocking a lot of shots here. It's taken by Bjorkstrand. If he hurries, we might have a chance. Bjorkstrand walks in. Shoots it, turned away by Wallstead. The rebound was there, but Wallstead poked it all the way up to Bates. Goddamn. Bates with the puck. Finds Yakemchuk over to Stutzla. It's turned away by Solovyov, or might have hit a guy in front, but this is a crazy overtime, man. They definitely have had the chances. They've definitely had the chances, but we're holding tough so far. We blocked some shots. Now we have that second line back out there again against their third line. Ciofito wins the face-off cleanly. Here is Boyd. Finds it up to Jaskalainen. He's been scoring a lot of goals as of late. Jaskalainen walks in, finds Ciofito. Ciofito shoots. That's turned away. Loose puck. I don't know how it went in, but I don't care how it went in. Jaskalainen has sent the New York Islanders to the Stanley Cup Finals. We win our third straight series in 5 games. We do get that lucky bounce to go our way this time, and we will be going to the Cup Finals against either Edmonton or Utah on what was probably one of the most luckiest goals I've ever seen. I don't even know what happened, really, but we'll definitely have to take a look at that. But there's Frundell shaking hands with Brady Tkachuk. And we will be going to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in a while. There's Solovyov. I don't think I've ever seen his face before. And there's Frundell getting the Prince of Wales, which is interesting to see because last time we were in this situation, We didn't have him as the captain because he was still early into his career at that point, but we get lucky. I don't even know how that goal went in. No, that one, I knew how it went in, but this game winner is crazy. I don't even know what happened. Like, let's see this again. Ciofito went for the shot. All right, it bounces off of a stick and then, oh, okay, I think I see how it went in. Let's go to the instant replay and get a better look here. So Jääskeläinen threw it over to Ciofito. He looks like he's going to get a good chance here. Huge shot block there by Aubrey. But this falls down. And since now Wallsted's a little bit out of position, he's trying to go for the poke check. Jääskeläinen actually gets to this, and he gets poke checked at the same time. So this ends up just luckily going right back to the net and in. That's a bit of a lucky one. But we'll definitely take it as Jääskeläinen sends this team to the Stanley Cup Finals. That's what he looks like. He kind of looks like Brad Marchand, to be honest. Like, if you look in, kind of, but with a beard. Huh, interesting. Okay, so we do find a way to the Cup Finals. Took 5 games again. Jääskeläinen got third star, 2 goals in this big game, so both of the goals for our team. A little bit of a lucky one to end it, but it's a big one. What about the second star? Second star went to Solovyov, 36 saves. He was good in this game, made some big ones in overtime. Without him, who knows what would have happened. And then obviously I think Wallsted's going to get first star of the game for the Sens likely because he kept them in this game. Yep, he gets first star as expected. So 9 shots on goal in this game for Jääskeläinen. God damn. And actually let me go to the box score so we can see who assisted on that goal. Ciofito and Boyd. All right. So with that, we are going to the Stanley Cup Finals. We'll obviously take a look at their player stats and we'll see who we're facing. But good to be back in the finals again. And we've been going to 5 games in every single series so far up to this point. So are we going to go to Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals? I feel like that's probably what ends up happening is because I don't think you're going to ever just win 5 games or win 4 of 5 in each round. But it could happen. All right, so our player stats after 3 rounds. Let's see who we got here. Let's actually just go by forwards and stuff like that because we know everybody on this team has points. So Jääskeläinen's on 20 points in 15 games, 11 goals, 9 assists. He's been fantastic. Crane's on 17 points over point per game. Mackinon's 15 points. Frendel's on 14. Bjorkstrand's on 13. Same with Ciofito. Leahy's still on 10 points. So Leahy had a little bit of a worse round. Like he had an assist or 2. But still, he's been really, really good, plus minus and all that. And look at Zane Giordano. Giordano had a really big conference finals. 8 points now in the playoffs. If we go to game logs, against the Sens, he had 3 points, 1 point, and 1 point. So he had 5 points in 5 games against the Sens. That's huge for him. And then Legg still on 7 points. Eriksson on 5 now. Eriksson was good too. Kind of 4 points. Leeson still only has 3 points. From a defensive standpoint, Houghton's on 13 points. Tatar's on 9 points. Salmelainen's on 6. Boyd's on 6. Sierra on 4. And Schaefer on 2. But look at Schaefer. He's a plus 11. This kid is really good defensively. Like his career playoff numbers, he's got great plus minus. Regular season, he's got great plus minus. Really liking him. And from a goaltending perspective, Solovyov is now up to a 922. So Solovyov is being great. Absolutely great. All right. So that is that. Now the question is, are we playing the Edmonton Oilers or are we playing the Utah Hockey Club for the Stanley Cup? Obviously, we've been in Cup Finals before, but we lost all the time. This time, we have our next generation team. So is this next generation team going to win a Stanley Cup in their first playoff run that went far? Let's see. We are going to be taking on, as we do have our conversation with our coach about making the finals, which obviously we did just do that. So shout out to our coach for making us get to the finals. He might be up there for the Jack Adams potentially this year. We are going to be taking on the Edmonton Oilers. So as I mentioned in last episode, now that we're facing the Edmonton Oilers for the Stanley Cup, it's literally like the 1980s all over again because obviously, during the 1980s, the Oilers and the Islanders played in the Stanley Cup Finals. I think it was multiple times. I think it was like 2 to 3 times or something like that. But the Islanders obviously won a bunch of Stanley Cups, and the Oilers did. So this is kind of an interesting matchup for the Stanley Cup Finals. As you can see at the moment, going into this playoff matchup, We are first in goals for in the playoffs. They are second. We are literally averaging right around the same amount of goals for per game in this postseason. We've been better defensively. They've been allowing 3 goals against per game, which is not too bad. Power play percentage, they have actually the best power play in the postseason at 31%, so that's probably why their offense is so good. And they're second on the penalty kills, so they have good special teams, and they have good goals for per game. Their goals against is a little bit lackluster, but yeah, they're pretty damn good in those areas. So that's playoff right now, at least. What about regular season, though? Because I am kind of curious on how they assimilated during the regular season. We'll also take a look at what we did against them in the regular season, too, but let's go to entire league if I can do that. Wow, okay, they were the 3rd best team in the league during the season. So we probably should have been higher than we were. We were all the way down here at 13th. I feel like we might be able to beat them, even though they were way better in the regular season. From a goals for perspective, they were the best offensive team in the regular season. Goals against per game, they were top 10 in the defensive play. Power play percentage, they were the 2nd best power play team in the regular season. And penalty kill, they were top 10. So they were literally top 10 in everything during the regular season. And they've been pretty good in the playoffs so far. They scored 10 short-handed goals too. Yikes. This is going to be a bit of a scary one. I'm not too sure if Connor McDavid's still playing in Draisaitl and all that. I'm not exactly sure, but the Oilers are going to be a tough team for sure. Let's see what their run's been like up to this point. So they took out Utah in 7 games. We saw that. They took out the Dallas Stars in 7 games. And they swept the LA Kings. So they've been back-to-back game 7. So they might be a little bit more tired than us. Potentially. But obviously it might not matter in the grand scheme of things. Alright, let's take a look at what we did against them during the regular season. And maybe look at the box scores from those games too, just for fun. And then we will obviously take a look at their lineup. But let's see what we did against the Oilers this season. Let's see what we did. We only played them 2 times, likely, so hopefully we won at least one of them. 7-5 victory in the first game in Edmonton, so that's December the 13th. I'm going to try and remember those games. December the 13th, and we lost 6-2 on January the 16th. So we were 1-1 against them during the season. Okay, so December 13th, January 16th. Okay, let's go to the box scores and see if I could see who scored in those games for us. Potentially. So we'll start off with the one we won on December the 13th. This is what I like about the box scores being in the game. It just adds a lot more story to it. So our first game against them, we won 7-5. Crane scored his 15th in this game from Salmelainen and Giordano. We had Leeson in that game from Giordano and Eriksson, so it looked like the third line did some stuff too. Bjorkstrand had a goal in that game. We had Jääskeläinen on goal. Bjorkstrand another goal. Leahy scored a goal in that third period too. And Nielikainen also scored a goal in that game. So the third line and the fourth lines and stuff did well too. And our player stats in that game, we had a bunch of guys on 2 points in that one. So we got some pretty good depth scoring in the first victory against them. And Suchanek was in net that game, so it wasn't even Solovyov, which is interesting. So Suchanek got credited with the win, which means Solovyov probably had the loss in the January game, I would assume. Let's take a look at that. So January the 16th. Let's take a look at that loss. Who the main cause of offense was for the Oilers against us. 6-2 loss. Yeah, that's a pretty bad one. Ferrandel scored in that game for us. Connor McDavid was scoring against us. So yeah, McDavid is still playing. And Boyd also scored a goal in that game. But I'm guessing Solovyov was in net that game, right? Suchanek actually played majority of the game, but he came in to replace Solovyov. Yikes. Alright. So, I honestly don't really know what to make of that. That's just regular season anyways, but let's take a look at their lineup now, and I am kind of scared because if they have Connor McDavid, he's probably still like a 94 or some shit like that, so this is going to be a tough series for our team, but obviously we're up to the task. And they're using McDavid as a left winger. That's kind of an interesting decision, but this is their lineup. Top line, Connor McDavid, Matt Savoy, and Liam Öhgren. We did see they're all up there in points. Liam Öhgren's got 26 points this playoff run, 30 points for Savoy, and McDavid's got 28. McDavid's also 39 years of age at this point, which is insane. And he's making $18 million for the next 2 years. He's never won a Stanley Cup in this franchise mode. Actually, no, he has. Oh, no, he hasn't, because that Conn Smythe is from the real life one. I was like, where's the Stanley Cup? But He's won a lot of hardware, but no Stanley Cup at this point in time. So maybe we're going to end Connor McDavid's chances at winning Stanley Cups. Second line, Elliot Desnoyers, Leon Draisaitl's there, of course, still, and Noel Nord. So Draisaitl's dropped off a lot. He's 40 years old now at this point. So their old guys, their best players are getting pretty old at this stage with no Stanley Cup win. Third line has Mika Lume, Noah Ostlund, and Ozzy Weisblatt. All right. Looks like a lot of European players on this team. Like this third line, I don't know if Weisblatt's actually, no, he's Canadian, but he's got kind of a name that sounds like he's from a different country. Fourth line, Chromiak. They also have Leroy. Interesting. 8 points as a fourth liner. And Robbie Yerventi. So I don't really know if they have the best depth in a sense, but you can't obviously count them out because of this top line and obviously Draisaitl still, because Draisaitl, still has over a point per game this postseason. From a defensive standpoint, they have Jackson Smith and Evan Bouchard, so Evan Bouchard's still playing too. Mike Benning. Is that related to Matt Benning? I would assume so. That's interesting. Leon Bichel's there. Artem Grushnikov, and then they also have Hector Moro. All right. So that defense, of course, not super great aside from Bouchard. And goaltending, they have Akira Schmid and Hugo Allenfelt. I don't know how this team got as far as they did, and were as good as they did during the regular season. Furlong's there. They also have Theodore, who's injured at the moment. And then they also have Jordan Gustafson. Yeah, I don't know how they got as far as they did. Maybe it's just been a McDavid effect. But this team, to me, is worse than us, almost. Let's do a little bit of comparison in terms of overall ratings, but I feel like we might have the better team on paper, even though they had 52 wins. We had 41 wins, so let's take a look at the overall comparison. So the Oilers and us, 92, 85, 85, 88, they'd said for Oilers offense. So we have a better offensive core. What else do they have? 82 and 76. So we are better than the Edmonton Oilers on paper, yet we had such a way worse regular season. I feel like we definitely could still win based on that. But obviously, the Oilers have been probably the better team over the last few years. They still have McDavid. You can't really count them out at all. I honestly don't even know what's going to happen in this next round. Kind of a little bit scared for that next round, but if we can contain that top line, we definitely have a chance. But the Oilers literally have the 4 top guys in points in this playoff run right now. Because you can see Matt Savoy leading with 30, McDavid with 28, Ogren with 26, Draisaitl with 21, and then it's Jääskeläinen for us with 20. So we definitely do not have that firepower that they do, but we could definitely still contain it potentially because we've been a good defensive team and goaltending team so far at this point in time. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of New York Islanders Franchise Mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to the 2036 Stanley Cup Finals as we look to beat Connor McDavid and get our first Stanley Cup. And maybe he ends up retiring at the end of the year too, because it would be insane. So maybe we can continue to keep guys like McDavid from winning Stanley Cups in this franchise mode. But at the same time, it'll be exciting to see what our team could do against kind of a veteran-heavy team at the moment. So think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.